so that we can save this. We're going to have a spot on the website where we're going to host these. So I just wanted everyone to know we're recording. So I just wanted to welcome everyone to the first planning meeting for the MOP 2021. I'm Samantha Johnston. I'm the Executive Director at Colorado Photographic Arts Center. And we're so excited to have taken on leadership of the festival. Thank you to Mark, and thank you to Megan and Trina. I have two staff who are on the call today as well, who have been super helpful. Everybody's been working really hard to get our new website up. So again, thanks everyone for being here. We wish this could be in person. We're sad to not be at CPAC or as it used to be in Mark's backyard. But obviously everyone's health and safety is our utmost importance. So, and we had over 100 people register for this evening. So you can tab across if you want to see some more familiar faces, depending on how large your monitor is. So I'm going to be going through the agenda that some of you may have seen that we sent out in the email. Some reminders and highlights. So just before we get started, if you can make sure you're muted, it just cuts down on that background information. That would be great. And then if you have any questions, we're going to have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. So if you want to use the chat feature, you can find that in the bottom toolbar of your Zoom, depending on which platform you're working on. And Trina's going to be helping me to keep track, so we'll make sure we get to questions at the end. So if you have some while I'm talking, just feel free to put them there. So yeah, thanks everybody. I'm going to jump right in and get started. So for those of you who do know and don't know, MOP, Month of Photography, is a biennial celebration of photography in Denver and the surrounding region. And Mark Sink, our fearless founder, founded it in the early 2000s. And I just want to thank him for his continued role and support and help to grow photography in the region. And we are so happy he's passed the reins on to us. We're really excited to be administering the festival in 2021. And with that, a pandemic hit this year, so it's made some challenges for our programming, but I'll get to that a little later. And we are also very excited. We received a National Endowment for the Arts grant this year to help support costs for programming. So we're super excited for that as well. And we just really want the festival to be very inclusive. And I'm going to talk through some of the website tonight and share my screen and kind of show some of the features of the new site. A reminder, if you have not signed up for the newsletter, to please do that. If you were on kind of the old MOP newsletter list from Mark, we are trying to make sure we're meeting all the standards correctly. So please make sure you sign up for the newsletter on our website and you will get on the new list that we're creating. And also follow our Instagram and our Facebook page that we've kind of taken over from Mark. And Mark was mentioning earlier the link tree, which you can access through the Instagram page. So that allows you to kind of go in and gives you quick links to the website, which is really great. So with that, I'm going to jump right in. So as I mentioned, the coronavirus will potentially impact the festival. In 2019, we had 120 exhibitions and over 550 artists represented. And we think this number might be a little lower, but we're hoping to be able to still have kind of safe guidance following CDC guidelines as well as city and state guidance. We are asking venues to follow that. We can't control all of that, but we're asking all venues involved to please keep that in mind. We are also prepared to move the portfolio reviews online if we have to. As I mentioned, just like with CPAC, we've been monitoring the situation kind of weekly and monthly as what is changing with both city and state guidance. For ways to participate in the festival, we've broken up the website to be photographers, venues, and visitors. So all those resources are kind of underneath all of those categories. And we have an FAQ page on the website, as well as an FAQ page to participate in the portfolio reviews. And then we also have ways to be involved, to sign up to be a volunteer, to provide sponsorship, and I'll show a little bit of that in a minute. And then calls for entry and exhibition opportunities. So the new website, as you may have seen, just launched a few weeks ago. So we're still kind of in those early stages of getting opportunities on the site. So please continue to use that as a source and check back. So let me share my screen. And I'm going to show a few. Can everybody see the website? Great. So this is our new denvermop.org site. And so calls for entry is kind of the main in the slider, and we'll have more items there as we kind of grow more information. And as you can see, venues, photographers, and visitors. And so that's one way you can access that information. Up here are the links to the social media icons. We're really excited this year to have an event map, which again, doesn't have a ton of things on it yet, but this will start to break down as more events get on it by area. So again, we just have to list your event right now because again, people are still deciding on their events and putting information up. And then the printed guide information is located on here. I'll go through some of these deadlines a little later. And then get involved. So as you can see, if you're a venue, you can click on the venues area and all the submission will be through to list your event or to publish a call for entry, or if you have a space that is available for showing work, that's another place that can go in that submit call area. And we have information about sponsorship. In the submit event, and once you submit an event online, if you meet the January 1st deadline, you will be in the printed guide. So we list some qualifications and then the deadlines. And then we have a little example of what the event listing will look like and how to kind of submit those images, both in the image size and the information that we're looking to get from you. With that, we will be, so the way that works is the event listing comes to the back end of our website and will be checked by staff. So kind of give us about a week to get that up to date. And then a few other, so the calls for entry page, and the big picture is listed there, which we're really excited about, and more coming soon for sure. And
Thank
then
you for putting that up.
Of course.
And designing it for it. It's beautiful.
And then the portfolio reviews. There's lots of information about the reviews, and I'll get to some of those deadlines as well in a minute. So just wanted to kind of show those different FAQ pages in the about. That's where the FAQ I was talking about. Ways to sign up for the newsletter can be found down at the bottom. And then you can see the follow the month of photography Instagram. So lots of exciting features. But please make sure to check it out. We have a lot of new things and lots of more information that will be coming for sure. A reminder that it's free to submit your event listing and to that getting in the printed guide as well. But those deadlines that we have for the January 1st and the other deadlines I'll speak to a little later are hard and fast deadlines for us, especially for the print. And later submissions can still be featured online. They just won't be in the printed guide, and that deadline is February 1st. And we just want to make sure everything is up and up in time for the festival. So some key dates are the printed guide, as I mentioned, is January 1st. The online calendar is February 1st. And again, these are all on the website. And then the call for entry listing is January 1st as well. The portfolio review weekend will happen at the Curtis Hotel again, and it's the weekend of March 20th to the 21st. And that also coincides, the Society for Photographic Education Conference is scheduled to have their national conference in Denver that same weekend.
Oh boy.
They're also, so we're hoping to have some cross collaboration with them, but we're still planning. Obviously the pandemic has added some challenges for all of us in planning large festivals. And then registration for the portfolio review weekend will open on November 15th, so this fall. And we will be closing registration on February 20th so that it gives us enough time to kind of prep all materials for the reviews. And then the sponsorship deadline is also January 1st, so we can list things in all the printed guides. We are viewing the festival as the month of March, but we know that shows may happen starting before March, or maybe start in the middle of the month and continue after the month. But we are looking at kind of the bulk of the programming being in March. There will be a place on the website where venues can download the new Month of Photography logo. We're just still working on building out that page, but there will be a kind of a toolkit page for that. And then we will be having other planning meetings. They will potentially still be on Zoom, given our current state, but we will be monitoring that. Those dates will be in October and in February. And we're still TBA on the actual dates, but just sign up for the newsletter. We'll be posting it on social media. And as I mentioned, we will have a recording of this one as well, and we will be recording future ones so that everyone has kind of a way to kind of come back to the information. And I think, Megan, unless I missed something, I got through all my notes very quickly.
Yes, and
leave lots of time for questions.
Fast talker and clear.
everything is on the website. Yeah, I was just going to add that everything that Samantha has mentioned so far is on the website. Just check those FAQ pages. If you're submitting an event, please, I ask that you just take the time to make sure your photo's the right size, make sure your description is tight. All that stuff, will be edited on the back end, but once it's uploaded, it may be difficult to change because we'll have dozens of those things coming in. So just if you can take the time to do that, that'd be wonderful.
Megan, you can call me with late night frustrations.
I just might.
Holding the hands of people of very high institutions that can't spell or send you JPEGs as press releases.
We're hoping the new form makes it, but we know there'll be challenges and
the new form, beautiful, really beautiful.
And we do have 2 email accounts that are accessible on the About page on the website, and I can pull those up.
Does the new form not let you out unless you have it all filled in correctly? Does it error you saying you haven't put a zip code?
It does with word counts, I believe. So hopefully that'll work.
Of things that are missing that in each box, but.
And so just so everybody knows, in the About on the website, there's a Contact Us page, and in that Contact Us page we have 2. I mean, you can always email us a CPAC email as well, but we've created a info@denvermop.org, as well as a reviews@denvermop.org for any portfolio review questions. But again, we are happy to answer questions on the CPAC email as well, so it's not a problem. So I was expecting all sorts of questions in the chat. Does anyone have any questions about how things that are happening, what's going on?
Samantha,
You've
is it
covered
too
it
early
all
yet to
so
ask
well.
me?
We're good.
We're gonna either have to do chat for questions, or I think it'll be hard. We'll end up talking over each other. So
Raise your hand.
Ron, do you want to go first?
Okay, I was just curious, since we're still in this pandemic situation and galleries are kind of up in the air, is there a plan B for any of the events next year?
I guess what events specifically?
Portfolio reviews or openings or?
So as I mentioned, the portfolio reviews will be moved online if we have to. And again, everything else is really, I mean, I think as everyone has learned, it's a week and month by month situation. So we're working with everyone to plan the best that we can, but this is all unknown territory for everybody. So
Right now you're looking at it taking place no matter what.
that's the goal, yeah.
Okay.
Have you thought out the model of the portfolio review online, how
Yes.
that would work?
Yep.
Great.
All right, so I'm going to get to some questions in the, so the reviews are the weekend of March 20th and 21st. And then the registration will open on November 15th for that. Someone asked if what's different this year or in 2021. So we're really following along with that similar model that Mark had set forth. We're not really making a lot of huge changes, and especially not with kind of the current situation of everything. So we're really following along with hoping to promote programming. And again, everything is a challenge because of the pandemic. So we're doing the best we can, and there will potentially be more online programming. But we won't know more until we get closer. Reviewers will be listed. Trina, when are we going to start putting those on the website?
As soon as it's formatted by our web designer.
So we're working on that and working on still getting details from reviewers well before registration opens.
Samantha, the reviewers list is already up.
I think it's 2019 reviewer list.
Really? Sorry.
That's okay. It's an example of the 2019. We usually try to list an example of the 2019 reviewers. Someone asked about the guide paper format for the guide. We haven't decided yet on the final format of the guide. I don't know if who is planning in Boulder. We need to get into kind of who's working on things in all the different areas.
Do we have a Boulder visitor here?
Liz is raising her hand.
Liz?
Are you also volunteering, Liz?
I'm volunteering to work with someone, but not with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then someone had a question about to submit a portfolio for exhibition during MOP. It is going to be venue by venue, as it has been in the past. We have not gone that far to ask all venues to partake in some sort of submission portal, and that is something we can look into maybe down the road, but that's we're kind of in the past, galleries have made those choices. Often for-profit galleries have shown work of people that it's a mix usually, so we have not set that up. Susan said, so there's many of us on this planning session. It looks like it's time for those of us who have found venues in the past to reach out to those venues. Has anyone looked into the virtual exhibition platforms that are popping up? We have not had a chance to look at those, but I know we've been also kind of looking at what some of the other festivals this fall are doing. So ACP, I know in Atlanta, is using some online platforms, but we have not looked into that yet. Michael Quinn, you have a contact in Boulder. That's great. Maybe share that with us. Feel free to email us. Emily King, way to volunteer our space for an event workshop. Yes, that's fantastic. We will take note of that. And then Cyprian, in terms of jobs for volunteering, a lot of stuff initially will potentially be with the portfolio reviews, helping to help get guides out to galleries. I believe we make a list on the volunteer page of other event photographers, exhibition and event volunteers. So those are a few that we've started with. So yeah, what else have I not answered? Mark wants to do more outside of public exhibitions. Working on that too.
If we can't go inside, let's go outside.
We're gonna go outside. No, I've been in touch about the Night Lights Denver, so.
I had mentioned in previous MOP meetings, I was greatly inspired when I was at the Month of Photography in Paris, and I walked down out into a park along the Seine, and at night I walked into a huge exhibition on temporary white walls with solar lights lighting it. All the didactics, everything was just one giant sheet printed out like they do in malls. And I was so shocked that there was no guards or that it was just left out to be public. And I went back the next day and I asked, and I said, do you have any problems with this? And, with people vandalizing? he said once someone sprayed one wall and we just print out another one, put it on. But I've always wanted to do that in Denver, in a parking lot, in a size, if we can find funding, of course, wall builders.
Yeah.
That's always the key question, funding. But if we can't go inside,
We'll get some outside. And I know, Melanie, thanks for your question, or the comment about CU Boulder. That's great. And then, yes, also billboards. Those are also things we've been looking into, different partnerships we can work on. So, Aaron, great question about teaching opportunities. We're still working on some of those. There might be teen, we're not sure. I'm going to look to you, Trina. We'll save all these questions too. Brenda wants to know, Mark, what solar lights are.
They were just super clean, you know, like your garden lights that are solar on top.
Okay, solar powered.
They cost about $3 a piece, but they have clip-on versions. The
Nice.
whole battery on top, and it throws light down the side.
It might be worth looking at Photoville's site because they're moving from containers this year to all outdoor exhibits printed on vinyl on temporary exhibits because of COVID. So there might be some ideas there.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, ideal, it's sticker technology. You walk into any malls or Victoria's, it's all billboard sticker technology is very popular and easy these days, but not cheap. Gary, are you in there? Unless you give us a deal.
Yeah, we'll talk.
What are you a square foot for some sticker?
We'll find a way.
There he is. Nice background.
Hey, Mark, and I already have test ordered some vinyl window cling prints online. I didn't get them through Reed, but I tried another online site and they work really well. So I can share, I'll send you some information about that just so you can see.
Yeah, that'd be great. What else? We've had some great questions. And as you know, as we've said, there'll be more information coming out. We're still, some of our planning has definitely been slowed because of the pandemic. So we are working on all sorts of programming, but more to come for sure. But we really wanted to take a moment to kind of share about the new site and talk through about the venues and the deadlines coming up and, you know, at the start of the year in 2021. What else? Anyone else with?
Brenda, I got your beautiful new mailing. Thank you. This girl works it, I tell you.
You're welcome.
She
Gotta
can,
keep in
if
touch.
you want to know how to run up the down escalator, ask Brenda. Beautifully well done marketing and the whole.
Thanks, Mark.
Ooh,
What? And I, you know, as those of you who have maybe participated in the past, I know that there's a great community aspect to when we've done the community meetings and planning meetings in the past. But unfortunately, Zoom is not, almost 100 people on Zoom is not the easiest format for everyone to start having side conversations. So I wish that that could be part of this, but we do encourage people to engage with social media and reach out to us with questions.
I could just, you know, the meetings are outside, open air, venue of a big sitting area, you know. And I don't want to completely kill it because, you know, we inside, yes, was done, but, you know, maybe this fall, the nice open area that we could sit, you know, meet outside. I'd like to keep that.
Oh yeah.
In the loop. It's, you know, looks like things are going downhill, uphill, and people's different feelings on going out and being in public at all, but I would propose a big open outdoor area could still be something to put as a maybe.
As a maybe. And it's not something we're gonna, maybe for the next, but it just might be right now to make sure that we can stay accessible and people feel comfortable. It'll be harder to record outdoors. So for now, it might be the way, but don't worry, Mark. I'm not losing hope on the community.
When I sit at portfolio reviews, Samantha, first thing I tell people is don't apologize for your work. Don't apologize for the Zoom meeting. This is great. One should not apologize. Don't preface things with apologizing.
All right, I won't. And to answer a few more questions, Susan, we have been reaching out to venues and trying to kind of share information throughout this time, kind of sending information, gauging people's participation, making sure they have the new website. So I think there is a portion of it that is, to your point, organic. But yes, we have been reaching out to make sure people are aware and know that things are moving forward. And Paul, to your question about the reviews, we don't have a hard deadline yet, do we, Trina, of when we're gonna?
It depends on the hotel and the venue as far as like what their deadline is, but I'm guessing it'll be January or so.
Thanks, Angela. What else? I think I've answered. Please let me know if I've missed a question. Or if anyone has any others.
Maybe we can try and corral in a few gallery venue owners to report, or
yes,
in, if they're just to give a report and they can come and go, or somehow to lure them in. This is very photographer heavy.
It is.
Meeting. It's nice to have dealers telling.
Yes. And we have been emailing them and invites. So we did email about this meeting for sure.
And that might help them be timely on their submission deadlines too.
Yes. That's the hope. Thanks, Katie, for checking with Walker. And Liz Black, thank you for representing 40 West. And if we don't have the right email, Mark had a list that I pulled from. And so if you're in an arts district or a venue or a small space, please feel free to reach out or join that newsletter list so we can get you on the list. We've been trying to send individual emails out to really let everybody know and be aware of what's going on. But sometimes things go to spam, and so we're just trying to make sure we can get everybody involved. Brandy, thanks. Yes, Firehouse, great, open call. Perfect. Yes, please submit to the website. That's okay. So yeah, and then as I said, there'll be more calls coming up on the call for entry page. So if you know of places that have calls for entry, please have them submit so that people can, we're really wanting that to be that housing as Mark had done in the past so that people can really find that information.
Well, if we could encircle, I just was typing to Gary and Susan, if we can pick some, Gary, like you guys over at Fort West Arts, 40 West, that maybe gather and report at a meeting. If we have anyone in the Santa Fe district that can kind of be a point person. We have a Boulder piece. It just sort of maybe to give a report or an update on the district. Because Gary, your ear's on the pavement up there probably, and Susan. If we can just find you know, you report for Golden Triangle, Sam.
Yeah.
And that kind of gives people an idea then who is receptive to taking work.
Yeah.
And it starts to know who's in the game, that you can start to put the magic fairy dust and
Yes.
find that it's a good time to approach the who's. But that, bye, Deanna, you want to wave? Say, you can come in and wave, say hello. Here's Tiana, executive assistant, coming in on team.
Goodbye.
I have a question.
You can report for the Sync Gallery.
Oh, I can.
They're doing MOP, right?
I'll get them in on it.
Okay.
Yes, they're in.
Okay, we need
Yes.
you want to be the spearhead for Santa Fe Drive?
Yeah, I can do that because I'm on board with Corinna and them, so I can do that.
We have a new reporter
Perfect.
for Santa Fe Drive, Tiana
Perfect.
Graves.
Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
Thank you, Tiana.
Jennifer, you had a question?
Yeah, I mean, I know you said you weren't really sure about the virtual, but I think for the airport, you know, our really big location dedicated to photography is post security. So I'd be really interested to know about the virtual side, because we would probably do both.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah, no, and that, you know, I mean, I've looked at some virtual things, but I'm not sure that we'll have the bandwidth to onboard a full program for virtual, that it might just be for website, you know, that each organization is doing it by website. But we'll look into that a little bit. So, and yes, Katie, that Trina answered, we are connected with Denver Arts and Venues as well. What else? Any other? It's great to see everybody's face.
Do you know what, you know, the museums are always programmed 2 years out. So do you know anyone's checked in from museum world, like Eric Paddock and DAM?
I've chatted with Eric a little, but they're not sure. You know, I think, again, the pandemic has really affected everyone's planning in a lot of huge ways, and especially the museums. So they're not sure yet.
Yeah, Eric doesn't know when they'll be open.
What about CVA?
I believe CVA has a show planned. When I talked to Cecily last, so. What else? Taking in all the multitude of screens of faces. Any other burning unanswered questions that people want to jump in? And again, feel free, know that if you think of something after, don't hesitate to email. Great, thanks, Angela. She's going to be doing their Instagram show, Champions of Change, again. Look forward to hearing more about that.
We are the Veterans Arts Council at the VFW Post One Art Gallery. We want to do one, but we're starting our remodeling next month, and not sure exactly how long we're going to be down, but once we get back up and running, we'll let you know.
That sounds great. Do you want to make big picture update, Mark?
Big picture this year, we've been talking with Gary. The format, we're going to print out a giant size magazine that is like 36-inch magazine. So the pages you can slide out to paste or put in a gallery, or just that it's all together in one portfolio. You know, as magazines are shrinking, I say, go bigger, go giant. And that way it can be shipped to other cities. And we've already been invited to show with a gallery in Brussels. If the Little Savage is the name of the gallery, Elephant Savage, that we're very excited. So we already have a taker for one of the big picture bundles.
That's fantastic. Thanks for that update.
I came in late and I was wondering, is the month of photography still in April and March? Are the dates the same?
The goal is March, and we know that some shows will kind of maybe start earlier in the year and go into the middle of March. Some people have said, you know, starting in the middle of March, going into April, but the goal is to really make it a month. So March is the month.
March, okay.
I like you're reining it in, because everyone would say, wait a minute, March, April, May.
We're keeping it to March.
Now it's March. It is a month of photography.
It's the month of
Good
photography.
job. I couldn't do it. I'm glad you can.
Well, I know we said it would go later, but I want to be mindful of everyone's time, and it's around dinner time. So if people don't have more questions, no, we will have another one where we will, you know, updates in areas and hopefully have some more information with call for entries. We're hoping that more information is kind of coming in as we started emailing as the pandemic was kind of late spring. It was just hard for a lot of places to provide information. So, so yeah. There'll be more soon for sure. Anyone else? Any final questions? And again, this recording, we will get it up on the site. So thank you all for your questions, for joining in. We're really excited for 2021, and we look forward to having a great festival. Pandemic or not, we are going to have a great festival. So.
There are 150 people in here. This is the biggest Zoom I've ever done. It's incredible.
It's
Good
great.
job,
We
Sam.
are so appreciative of the community. So thank you everyone for joining and getting involved. So we look forward to seeing everyone's faces in the future. So I'm gonna say thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, everyone. Great to see your faces. This is exciting.
It is exciting.
Good.
Mark, we just need a bunch of umbrellas, then we'd feel at home.
Yeah. I'll use that as my backdrop next time.
Okay, do that, please.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Please check out the new site, sign up for the newsletter, and we will see you all soon.
Thank you. Good job, Sam. Good
Thank
job,
you.
guys.
Thanks,
Bye,
Sam.
Nick.
Great job.
Thanks.